Think about the last time you opened your banking app at the kitchen table. Or in the parking lot. You've got three balances staring back at you: a credit card, another card, maybe a personal loan, maybe a car note, and you're doing the responsible thing. You found an extra $100, maybe $200, maybe $300. So you split it, a little to each, because it feels fair, it feels balanced, like you're being an adult about it. Then the statements hit: minimum due, interest charge, new balance, and somehow, after all that effort, the numbers barely move. You're paying every month. You're skipping other goals to do it. But the finish line keeps backing up. Even the statement's estimated payoff line doesn't tell you what to do. It just sits there like a weather forecast you can't change. So the question starts creeping in. Why does doing the right thing still feel like running in place? Here's what most people don't realize. The minimum payment isn't designed to help you finish. It's designed to keep you paying. That moment you just recognized, splitting extra money across balances and still feeling stuck? Beneath it is a math trick. Credit card interest doesn't wait until later. It charges while you carry the balance. Many issuers calculate it daily using a daily periodic rate, your APR divided by 365, so interest piles up day by day and then shows up on your statement like it was inevitable. And the minimum due is often set so the account stays in good standing, while the balance stays alive. Look at how ugly that can get. With a $2,000 balance at 24% APR, the interest for a typical 30-day cycle is about $39 to $40. If your minimum payment is around $60, a huge chunk of that payment can disappear into interest first, leaving only about $20 or so to actually reduce the balance. So when you spread an extra $200, fairly, you're not stopping the most expensive leak. You're just making several small payments on time. Here's the twist. There's a payoff order that lenders don't highlight. It's called the debt avalanche. You keep minimums on everything, but every extra dollar goes to the highest APR first. Then you roll that freed up payment into the next, same monthly outflow. Different outcome. And it goes deeper than that. Once you see how interest is calculated, the stuck feeling stops being mysterious. APR is your annual percentage rate, basically the yearly price tag for borrowing. But credit cards typically slice that into a daily rate by dividing by 365, then apply it to your balance day after day. That means time isn't neutral. Time is expensive. Take a simple month. You've got a $2,000 card at 24% APR. Using the daily rate method, the interest for a typical 30-day cycle comes out to about $39.45. That's before you even talk about paying the balance down. Now imagine your minimum payment is $60. You send it in. You feel responsible. But about $39.45 of that payment is just covering the interest that already accrued. Only roughly $20.55 touches the actual debt. Your balance drops, sure, but it drops like a leaking bucket drops when you pour in a cup. And here's what that means for you today. When you split your extra cash across multiple balances, you might be helping every account a little, but you're not killing the highest rate account fast enough to stop the biggest daily interest charge. Let me be clear about something. Minimums keep accounts active. Active accounts generate interest. Interest is the product. So the real question isn't, am I paying? You are. The real question is, which balance is charging you the most per day, and why are you letting it stay big? Because once you understand that, the way you allocate your next extra $100 gets a lot less fair, and a lot more effective. Now you're ready for the part the statement never shows you. The side-by-side comparison. The debt avalanche is simple. You pay the minimum on every debt to avoid late fees and keep everything current. Then you take every dollar extra and aim it at one target, the highest APR. When that's gone, you roll that entire payment, minimum plus extra, onto the next highest APR. That roll is where speed comes from. Here's a real-world way to anchor why this saves money. Experian uses a straightforward scenario. A $5,000 credit card at 20% APR with a $150 monthly payment takes about 4 years to pay off, and you pay about $2,359 in interest along the way. That's on one card. So imagine you're juggling 3 debts and you've got a fixed monthly debt budget. If you split your extra $250 across all of them, you feel like you're making progress everywhere. But the highest APR balance stays higher for longer, so it keeps charging you the most interest every day. Under Avalanche, that highest rate balance shrinks faster, which reduces the interest you get charged next month. Which means more of your next payment goes to principal, your actual debt, without you increasing your monthly total, and you don't have to take it on faith. Fidelity's comparison shows the Avalanche approach can produce thousands less in interest than paying in a different order. One example shows about $6,240 in interest savings versus a smaller balance first approach. Here's the twist. The win isn't a clever trick. The win is that you're plugging the biggest leak first, and once you do that, the emotional part changes too, because the first payoff arrives sooner, and your whole plan starts to feel real. You've got the math now. But the real trap isn't the calculator, it's your emotions and your habits. Next, you'll see the exact turning point that makes Avalanche actually stick, because that fair split? It's not a budgeting issue. It's a safety blanket. Here's the trap. You've got someone in their mid-30s, stable paycheck, a couple cards that ballooned after a life event, car repair, moving costs, a stretch of underemployment. They do everything right. Every due date hit. Every month, they split the extra across all balances so no account feels neglected. But the balances don't shrink in a way you can feel. So motivation dies. Then one late payment sneaks in. And now you're paying interest plus late fees plus stress. The turning point is stupid simple. You stop trying to be fair to the balances, and you start being ruthless with the APR, and one tiny habit makes it stick. Minimums on autopay. Not autopay the whole balance. Autopay the minimums so you don't accidentally trip a late fee while you're focused on the target. Why does that matter? Because autopay measurably reduces missed payments. A CFPB-backed research paper on credit card autopay found delinquency rates around 17% for manual payers versus about 6% for autopay users. That's not motivation. That's systems. So the move becomes, automate the boring part. Then manually send your extra to the single highest APR, and the emotional shift is real. You stop staring at 3 balances thinking, I'm failing. You start watching one balance fall fast enough that you can predict the month it disappears. The system isn't grading your effort. The math is. So what do you actually do tonight so the math finally starts working for you? Here's exactly what to do. No new theory. Just a setup you can finish in one sitting. Step 1. Make a 1-page debt list. For each debt, write balance, APR, minimum payment, due date. Step 2. Pick your fixed debt attack budget. One monthly number you can sustain. Minimums plus whatever extra you can reliably add. Step 3. Put every minimum payment on autopay. Minimum only. This is your late fee shield and your consistency engine. Step 4. Choose one target, the highest APR. Every dollar above minimums goes there. One place. No splitting. Step 5. The roll down rule. When that target hits 0, you take what you were paying on it, minimum plus extra, and you roll that entire amount onto the next highest APR. That's how your payment power grows without you finding new money. Now the guardrails that keep you from falling back into the minimum payment trap. Freeze new swipes. Literally remove the paid down card from online wallets and put the physical card out of reach. Call and ask for an APR reduction or hardship plan. Even a few points matters because it shrinks the daily interest leak. Track one metric monthly, total interest charged across all accounts. Watch that number drop. That's progress you can't fake. If you want, drop a comment with your format, Debt A, APR, minimum, Debt B, APR, minimum, and you'll get help choosing the target. And if this kind of, they never show you the math, breakdown is useful, you'll want the next video on the fastest way to free up cash flow after your first payoff. Subscribe so you keep access to moves like this.